very short-handed Lakers lose a tough one to the Brooklyn Nets on the road. The Nets had lost 7 straight games. Bottom line, guys, the Lakers struggled in a lot of areas here. 15 turnovers that led to 19 points. The 16 rebounds, offensive rebounds for the Nets that led to 16 points. A couple of those late in the fourth quarter that were absolute killers. Listen, they got great games from Goodwin. Got a lot of offense from Dalton, Gabe Vincent, a season high. But Luka and Austin both struggling tonight. They combined for 11 for 39.
Yeah. In a game that was winnable. The two things that you pointed out, I think, were the reasons they lost the game. Too many offensive rebounds, and just not enough. Too many turnovers, and Brooklyn was able to, get points off of those turnovers. You needed everyone to kind of have a decent game. And when Reeves was, I don't know, he was like 1 for 9 until he hit that three off the glass, and then Luka, they were focusing on him a lot. The ball didn't move that much. I don't know. The Lakers only had how many assists tonight?
Actually, 31.
Oh, that was good. They had 31 assists tonight. I didn't really see.
And James, they hit 19
really see
threes.
That.
They
hit a lot of threes, but Brooklyn was it was the rebounds and the turnovers, Keeter, and there's too many offensive rebounds. I counted 4 on one possession one time, and it ended up with a 3-point play.
That's when it went from
Brooklyn.
4 to 7 points too.
So it's just hard to get back in a game or win a game when you're lacking. Even though they had 31 assists and even though they hit some threes, still just some of those categories are very detrimental to a ball game when you give up that much.
Yeah, it's very tough. You look at that second quarter where the Lakers only scored 19 points. And it was vital that you could see they took their foot off the gas and they thought this was going to be an easy one. For me, that was one of the ones where you guys on the bench be telling the stars, yo, man, no, let's take them out right here. This is the biggest thing. And once they saw that crack in the Lakers' armor, they was in attack mode. Think about all the threes they made in the second half. That was from that second quarter where the Lakers gave them life. And overall, I thought the Lakers played decent. But once you start that avalanche, it's hard to stop it.
Yeah, you mentioned that second quarter. It was 32-19. In favor of Brooklyn. With 11 minutes left in that second quarter, the Lakers were up by 15, and it looked like they might be able to cruise on this one. But you're right, that Brooklyn got life, Brez, and honestly, if you look at just part of the game, wow, Lakers shot 47% from 3, hit 19 of them. They got 17 from Goodwin. They got 19 from Dalton, 24 from Gabe. You're thinking that's a win, but it just doesn't tell the whole story.
Yeah, too many rebounds. And Brooklyn, not a good team, period. 29th in rebounding. James, you mentioned the possession where they had like 4 offensive rebounds. That's a power play. That's a 5-on-3 power play in hockey. I mean, that's just too many chances for a team. The Lakers, okay, they had 4 important guys on the bench. 51 points scored among those 4 guys. That's a lot of offense on the side. Not a lot of time to get rest. And then you have that back-to-back Milwaukee and Denver.
And let's face it, the Lakers have been playing some incredible basketball over the last 3 months. I mean, heading into tonight, they're the 4th best record in the league, but they looked a little tired as well. I mean, and rightfully so. They've had a big stretch here with a lot of games coming up, and the injuries have started to hit. Dorian Finney-Smith was out tonight. Rui's still out. We all know LeBron is out. Jackson Hayes. So you're talking 4 major contributors and rotation guys out of the game. But no excuses. You gotta play with what you have. And like I said, the role players did their thing. James, let's talk about the end of the game.
They wanted to foul, but they didn't want to have an and one with that. So unfortunately, didn't defend that sideline out of bounds play correctly.
Yeah, it was a lot of miscues down the stretch. Even that we were talking about that last offensive rebound they got where Vando clearly got thrown to the ground.
Vando had him boxed out, by the way.
Yeah, and that's one of the things where, when you're a team like Brooklyn, and the way that there was a lot of chirping going at the refs, that, they might, hold that whistle sometimes. That's why I'm always telling guys, just play the game. The more you chirp at refs, the more they're going, they're human. They can have grudges. They can have a blind eye to certain situations. And for me, I think the Lakers, the refs held a whistle a lot tonight.
Yeah, they did.
At one point, it was 16 free throws to 2.
Yeah.
Lakers ended up shooting 19 compared to 30.
Yeah,
they've been on the other side of that for sure multiple times, right? So it comes and goes. But it was frustrating for sure. And it definitely frustrated Luka.
Yeah, it definitely frustrated Luka. And that's one of the things that, use a harp on, talking to Shaq, talking to Cole. I said, just let it go. Let you play.
Yeah.
solve everything else. Because once you play hard and let that and then just play the game the right way, things will work itself out.
Yeah.
And I felt like that got them out of the rhythm. The guys were going to the hole because when the refs aren't when they're holding the whistle, that can frustrate you. That can make you miss your shots. That can make you do so many other different things.
Could you sense it on nights where Kobe just wasn't getting a call?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, really, Shaq. Shaq more than anybody. And I said, well, big fella, you're going to take care of yourself because he about to elbow the heck out of someone.
Yeah.
And you take care of yourself. But, on those nights, like, that's where you get in the huddle. And it got to be the coaching staff, too. You got to let that go. Nobody say nothing. Just go out there and play. Phil will say, okay, we're going to fine you $100 just for the fun of it. Say if you say anything to refs, just play basketball. And I think tonight it frustrated the Lakers so much that it affected their game, their play.
And there's a way to talk to the refs, too. And usually if you can contain yourself, it's not initially. It's like 2 plays later when there's somebody's at the foul line, then you walk over to him. You say, hey, he got me. He fouled me. And then you don't want to embarrass the referees. Yeah. There's a way that you can talk to him, and it's not the way Luka is doing it because they don't want to hear that right away. They do make mistakes, too.
Yeah.
They know that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. If you look at the last 2 games, there's been a couple quarters that have really started to alarm me a little bit. They had the 18-point third quarter in Boston with no assists. Tonight, obviously, no LeBron. That's going to hurt. But that 19-point second quarter that you talked about, Rob.
Yeah.
Let's talk LeBron James. Brez, what's the latest? 1 to 2 weeks is what has been reported by Shams and the Lakers.
Yeah, I mean, that's what's out there. So you obviously start looking at the Lakers' schedule. And as we already mentioned, it's going to get really compact starting Thursday. You got the back-to-back and other teams around them in the standings winning. You just don't want to fall to like 4th or 5th by the time LeBron comes back healthy.
And Big Game, just what we missed with him on the court, just used to that energy that he has played with during this huge stretch where he has been absolutely phenomenal, and we've been raving about him being 40 years old. Just missed that tonight in terms of the defense, the rebounding, the extra possessions that he gets, the attacking, a bucket when you need it, right? Like,
yeah, you definitely miss. You miss
it's the first time they played without him. Really.
You miss his leadership. Yeah. You miss his leadership, which includes everything you talked about. Tonight, I thought maybe he could have helped a lot with the rebounding. LeBron has been really focused on getting defensive rebounds in particular, and also he would have been another threat. It was tough for Luka to be out there all alone. Reeves not having the night that we are accustomed of him having. So yeah, LeBron would have helped on the rebound. He would have been a little bit more physical force against Brooklyn as they were trying to lay the lead on us. So, yeah, you missed the king tonight. You also missed the presence of Rui, another physical body, Smith, So, yeah, you missed bodies, but they still had a chance to win the game.
Sometimes you get caught up in this fast play. When you up 15, that's the time to really execute. Mm-hmm. All right, we're just going to chip away. We don't have to take a bad 3. We don't have to take a bad shot. We have to take a great shot, regardless if it's a 2 or 3, because at that point, those are daggers in the heart. Death by 1,000 cuts. So for me, that's one of the things that the Lakers need to learn how to do, because sometimes they're looking for the ooh-ah moment of a big, long 3, logo 3, or some fancy shot. Nah, just get in the hole, go to the hole. And that's what we really miss with LeBron not being in the game, because LeBron will put his head down and go straight to the basket, even though Luka does the same thing. It's a different type of going to the hole in LeBron because it's above the rim. Luka plays below the rim. So that's one of the things that I really miss about LeBron when he's in the game, because that moment when he gets that defensive rebound, like you said, James, and he sees a direct line to the basket, there's no stopping him.
Yeah, and before we go to break, just real quick, Brez, big picture, you mentioned that you've been actually talking a lot about that March schedule coming up. We didn't know we'd be this short-handed. So these are going to be some days you're just going to have to go game by game. No Rui, you just not really know who's going to be available. That's going to be the tough part. A lot of heavy minutes for guys as well.
Yeah, it's bad timing, no matter how you slice it. You got a lot of games coming up. You got 4 guys, we just saw them on the sideline. Maybe Dorian's back in a few days. This is actually the only time these next few days where they go the entire month without a game, either the next day or the day after.
That's right. This is it, right? For the
so
rest
you got 2 full days to rest. You come back Thursday. Hopefully that gets at least a couple guys back. I'm not predicting LeBron or Rui will be back by then, but Dorian would definitely help. And Jackson Hayes give you that lob threat, give you that little bit more rim protection than they have right now.
Brez, what do you got for us? A little calendar update?
Yeah, calendar, standings, all the
Check
goods.
it all out.
Yeah, trying to think about the big picture here for a sec, James. And like we mentioned earlier, there's a lot of traffic for the Lakers, a lot of headwinds right now. Here's the next 5. Okay, you're still on the road. thankfully, 3 days from now, you play in Milwaukee. Give a couple guys, hopefully, some time to get back. The standings in the West, as we've talked about, super, super tight right now. Lakers lost today, a game behind Denver for second, and they're only half a game ahead of Memphis right now, and 1 game ahead of Houston.
Yeah.
The Lakers really need to stay in that 3-4, 2-3-4. They haven't hosted a playoff series since 2020. At least looks like they're going to avoid the play-in tournament. Never say never, but they're looking good for that. But you really want to be in that top 4, James. Just grab some home court, tuck it under your arm, and start running with it.
I remember you saying about a month ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, that the Lakers need to start building up some wins.
Yep.
Because the schedule that they're going to have going out,
There it is.
It's the toughest one, I believe you said, in the league.
Yep.
So here we are. And without LeBron, we really got to, have a meeting of the minds. Still got to play these games. They're not as winnable as we think they are, but they still got to come in and try to win if they can and play the best game they can play. It's going to be tough.
Teams that were behind them all tonight, all won in Denver and Memphis. And the Rockets and the Warriors are up 10 at the moment.